Rain laid there for hours replaying the horrific scene in her mind. By the time the sun rose, her eyes were locked on the ceiling, face pale, eyes bloodshot. Vance didn't get much sleep either, although his own nightmares were of a different variety. "I'll miss you," Leah said tearfully as Rain headed downstairs. "I'll be back when things are better. Just be careful, okay?" "I'll try." Her eyes misted slightly. "See you, Soren." "Good luck." Walking toward the bus stop, ironically, Liz happened to be there too. Unaware of Rain's presence, she stapled a piece of paper to a pole and stepped back. "Mr. Puss," it read across the top. "Missing, black and white spotted tabby. Comes when called, cash reward if found." "Lost your cat?" "Oh, hi, Rain." Liz smiled, though it was evidently farce. "Yeah, Mr. Puss. He didn't come home a few days ago. I don't think he could have gotten far, but with all the animals that have gone missing..." She tried to put the thought from her mind. "I haven't seen you in school. Is everything all right?" "Yeah, everything's fine. I'm just too lazy to go. I wouldn't worry about the cat, though. They usually come when they're hungry." "I hope so." Her gaze dropped. "I don't know what I'll do if he doesn't. I hate losing people." Rain scorned her words internally. "Just put out food for him. He'll come home." She'd made a note to ask Vance if he'd eaten the cat out of spite, though Liz was too distant to be paying attention. Toying with her necklace, it was somewhat debatable whether or not Mr. Puss was the one she'd been referring to. "Isn't that the stone Rorik gave you?" Rain asked. "Yeah. He won it for me at the fair. I forgot I let him hold on to it, and a few days ago someone came to my house with a box. He said that a boy had paid him to deliver it, and that he thought I might want it back. I don't know what to think." "He was saying goodbye," she answered stiffly. "Why pay someone? Why not do it himself?" "I think he did." "What?" Liz didn't seem to be able to wrap her mind around such a notion. "What do you mean?" "Nothing. Don't worry about it." Rain decided it was probably best not to get into that conversation, and thankfully Liz let it go. "I'll see you around," she said as she walked off. "Goodbye." Hoping Vance could not overhear her, Rain spotted the bus. It was headed south, running straight through Riverhead and further onto the island, where it eventually offered a transfer at the train station. Rain bought a ticket to head west. The train went as far as California, though her sights were set on Nevada. Buying the largest book in the store, her stomach was in knots and she began to read, immersing herself in a story of adventure and the supernatural. She didn't sleep, somewhat untrusting of closing her eyes, and between energy drinks and soda she managed to keep awake until she reached Vegas. The hotel was upscale, seeing as Vance preferred luxury. Setting her bags beside two large beds, Rain called him forth and the portal dropped him onto the mattress. "Ugh," he groaned, throwing his head against a pillow. "There has gotta be a better way to do that." Rubbing his face, his eyes managed to focus, and he sat up upon realizing they were no longer in Greenville. Sitting atop a bed of her own, Rain flipped through a phone book. "We're in Vegas." "Vegas?" Vance arched a brow. "Are you serious?" "No, we've gone to Alabama to set up a hen farm. Of course we're in Vegas. It's a fitting place for us." "Fitting, huh? Too bad I've already been thrown out twice." "What do you mean, thrown out?" "I mean, you say my name in Vegas, they run in the other direction," he chuckled. "Casinos don't like people who count cards. They don't like me because I fucked their system. First time I went, I was a kid. That's how I discovered the talent. Second time, they realized I was under 21. I'm on their shit list big time." "Seriously?" Rain rubbed her face. "Why am I not surprised?" "I never said I didn't want to be here," Vance recounted. "But I might need a new face." "You're not inhabiting another teenager's body. No way." "Who says I need another one? I think I might still have Rorik's old wallet," he snickered. "He could pass for 21. You won't, though. You look like you're 3. "I already have a fake ID, you imbecile." She slammed the phone but closed. "And just because I look young doesn't mean I can't remedy that with makeup." "Ooh, scary." "Shut up. Nothing can fix your face. You're condemned to wear a terrible suit for all eternity." "Whatever." Getting up, Vance sauntered into the bathroom. Emerging an hour later, he was hardly recognizable. Dressed in a red t-shirt and jeans, his hair was still damp, though without the disgusting surplus of gel, it rested normally. What's more, he actually looked his age. It was almost frightening how a simple change in hairstyle could shift a persona so much, considering without the bells and whistles, he hardly looked any different from anyone else. Rain stared at the television with copper eyes. "I'm not buying you an industrial-sized gel bottle, you know." "Who asked you?" "Don't even try to ask me," she muttered. "Do I have to feed you tonight?" "Do you have to? You make it sound like a chore." "It's more akin to getting root canal, actually. How does this work? If you lie, I'll call Soren and ask." "Oh yeah? And how you gonna do that? I don't think that weapon comes with a speed dial. This works as in you let me do my thing and stop asking questions. How about you give me a time frame and you can stay here and watch your..." He threw a brief look toward the television. "Soap opera reality puke." "Yeah, right, Vance. I'm not giving you free rein. I'm coming with you, and if you go on a rampage like you did last night, so help me God."
You're just as responsible for last night as I was, so don't even go there.
His tone darkened.
I already told you, there are not many things in this world that bother me, but being oogled at like some kind of animal just happens to be one of them. If I wanted to be stared at, that would not be my first choice of method. I don't want you watching, bottom line.
Then I guess you're not feeding, Ren replied. You ate enough yesterday, you can wait. Getting up to storm from the room, the look he gave her was one of absolute hatred.
I hope someday somebody puts you in a cage and bleeds people in front of you until you go insane.
Wandering down the hall, he found a sofa and sat there late into the night. Eventually, he pulled a card from his pocket and threw it to the floor to summon Rose. Crawling onto his lap, she took the form of a small black cat, and he began to stroke her.
This sucks, Rose. How the hell did I wind up in this situation?
He asked, only to be met with an eep.
Yeah, that's ironic, isn't it? Pursue chaos and you're on top of the world, but the moment you actually try and play by the rules, they hang you for it. Why the hell do you always have to be right about everything?
Rose eeped again.
You're not awesome. Shut up. That's not even funny right now. I can't honestly wrap my mind around it. Do you get it? Because I don't.
She shrugged and Vance's expression darkened.
I know there's nobody else out there like me, okay? I fucking get that. I just thought that maybe somebody similar would...
He didn't bother finishing his sentence.
Forget it. You're right as per usual.
It was a few minutes before he started again.
You never knew my dad, did you, Rose?
Eep.
Yeah, you came after that. You're lucky. I told Liz about it a little. I never told anybody about that.
Eep.
It was bad. I swear I must have told you the story. Maybe some other time. You never had any parents, did you?
Eep.
Didn't think so. It's funny, you know? I remember when he actually cared. Before all that cult crap, I was always a part of everything. They treated me like their mascot.
Rose gave him a skeptical look.
All right, so I wasn't allowed to really do anything, but it was still kind of like family, I guess.
Eep.
What happened? I'll tell you what happened. He wanted me to start doing for myself. Moran invited the entire cult to watch. Do you have any idea what it's like to have people you thought cared about you look at you like that?
Rose didn't respond, although he just kept going.
That was it, Rose. That was the end. My tutor quit the next day, said she had financial obligations. Dad stopped bringing me to meetings. Nobody ever came by the house anymore. But you know what really bothers me?
Eep.
He gave me that same exact look. My own father, the guy who went out of his way to do this to me in the first place. It was like he looked at me and realized he'd made some kind of horrible mistake.
Vance shook his head.
I have yet to find anyone who doesn't agree with that statement. And you know, for the first time in my life, I'm starting to wonder myself.
Rose looked up again and a thin yet forced smile crossed his face.
Thanks, but I don't think you count. I mean, no offense, but if I didn't exist, you wouldn't either, so it kind of makes sense you'd want me around.
Wandering back into the room around 6, Vance remained quiet. Not wanting to wake Rain for more reasons than he could count, he crept toward the spare bed and curled up on top of it. He was asleep within minutes, although his teeth were once again drawn, allowing a disgusting amount of drool to trickle out. Occasionally tightening his grip on the pillow, he would cringe in evident discomfort, shuffle for a moment, and lie still seconds later. Rain woke around 11. The drool disgusted her, and the ruined pillow was going to be hard to explain to room service. "Vance," she asked, placing a cold hand on his shoulder.
"What do you want?"
Opening his eyes, he blinked a few times, and his face returned to normal. "You're shivering like we're in an icebox." Tossing the pillow away, he rubbed his neck.
"I don't get much sleep. Never have."
"Nightmares?"
"If that was all it was, I wouldn't complain. This is a hotel. There's an abundance of people. My system reacts to that, whether I'm conscious of it or not. It's usually painful."
"Why didn't you share this information before I bought the room? If you can't live amongst people, I could have saved the money and bought a tent."
"I can live with people just fine. If I could kill people in my sleep, I wouldn't have half the problems I do now, so calm down."
"I am calm. I was just asking." Leaving him to take a shower, Rain emerged a half an hour later and rubbed the toothpaste from her mouth. "You plan on sleeping all day?" she asked with faint amusement.
"What else am I gonna do?"
"Hold my purse while I apply for jobs?" Opening an eye, he stared at her with it. "Is that a no?"
"What do you think?"
Rain hid a snarky grin. "Don't use your abilities to ruin anything that compromises us. I'll be back in a bit."
"Whatever. Go get yourself a job working at Burger King and bring back some coupons."
"They won't be for you." Deciding better upon responding, he buried his face in the foam while she left the hotel. Oddly enough, when she did return, a cleaning cart was positioned directly in front of the door. The maid, however, was nowhere to be seen. Still sound asleep, Vance hadn't moved, although he appeared to have stopped drooling. "Did you eat the maid?" Rain flung a pillow at him. Batting it away, he gave a yawn and shook his head.
"I don't know what you're talking about."
"You ate her," she accused. "She's not here and her cart is."
Whoa, back off.
He scooted upward as she climbed onto the bed.
She's probably in one of the next rooms over.
Are you sure? Rain scowled.
Of course I'm sure. Now, would you get off my bed? You're intimidating as fuck.
Thanks.
Yeah, whatever.
Grabbing a do not disturb sign off the dresser, Rain opened the door to place it on the handle.
So, did you get a job or what?
They said they'd call.
You could always try a street corner.
That's the last job on the list, asshole.
What? I'm serious. You realize how great of a gig that is for people like you? All you can eat for the low and easy price of looking good. Not only that, but you get the cash, the credit cards, and the police get to explain to their wives why they're cheating. Hell, I'd do it myself if it wasn't such a double standard. I mean, let's face it, even I've got my limits. But you want easy money, that's the way to do it.
People like me? Rain looked more irritated than amused. I have my standards, and letting some creepy old man solicit me doesn't seem like a dream job. You would be a hooker, though. Let's not kid each other. You have no standards.
You know, when you starve to death on a daily basis, you take whatever you can get.
Rain laughed. I'm sure the women would be vastly disappointed.
Oh, please, let's not even get into that conversation.
You brought it up. Pimping you out would barely cover dinner.
If I'm gonna get takeout, it's gonna be from a bar with some dumb broad who can't hold her liquor.
Figures you'd have no standards there either. Did you eat her or not? She asked, still hung up on the maid.
Nope,
he said nonchalantly. You did, you overly gelled jerk.
Hey, I haven't put any gel in my hair since yesterday.
I'm gonna sell you to some dirty old man. Vance found a remark more humorous than insulting.
I think he'd be more interested in you, babes. You can go get grease banged while I'm counting the dough.
Don't call me babes, and I'm not selling myself. Besides, he wouldn't even make it to the door.
You got a hankering for sausage and eggs that badly?
No.
Wow, going, gone. That one went right over your head.
What?
Forget it. If I have to explain that, we're in serious trouble.
Explain what? I'm not perverted like you are.
Yeah, well, you don't seem to have any form of sense of humor either. Jesus shit, how do you live?
I have a sense of humor, you're just brash. Maybe you want to get a rag for your mouth tonight, though. Fuck you. Everybody drools, Vance. Quit being a girl about it.
Maybe you should quit insulting me over things I have no control of. Oh, wait, I forgot. It makes you feel better about being a freak. Well, in that case, I guess it's totally acceptable.
You started it. Vance pulled the last remaining pillow over his head in an attempt to block her out. You say I'm a stiff, but you're so sensitive. Ignoring her despite the fact she had a point, he was out for the night and for once actually slept like a normal human being. It was around 10 the next morning that he woke. Rain shifted slightly and pulled the covers up. It was an unusual habit, one she'd developed when she was younger. Eventually, growing bored, Vance wandered into the bathroom to reapply the gel to his hair before returning to the mattress and pulling a deck of cards. Summoning Rose, he instructed her to keep quiet as he dealt a poker hand to pass the time. How come you only summon her? Rain asked as she opened her eyes.
What do you mean, how come I only summon her? Who the fuck else would I summon, the Tooth Fairy?
Well, you don't summon any other minions. She's the only one you mention.
The other minions, as you call them, are unintelligible dark mites, he scoffed. Rose and I go back a long ways. Besides, every good bad guy has to have at least one doofy sidekick.
Bad guy? Rain snorted. He was a super douche, not a super villain. She could do better.
Well, I'm certainly not a hero, and as far as doing better, please, Rose is imprinted to me. She can't do better.
With an eep, Rose gave him a flat look.
Excuse me, if you think you can do better with a paper cup, then you can get the fuck out.
Rose can stay. At least she has a personality.
Eep. What? Now you're taking her side?
Vance threw his cards in the air.
I can't believe you.
Rose eeped again.
Arrogant prick, I'm not arrogant.
She arched a brow.
All right, fine, but if you think you can find someone else out there as awesome as me, you go right the fuck ahead.
I like her already, Rain mused. And you're not awesome. Obnoxious, yes, but not awesome.
Liz thinks I'm awesome.
Rose eeped again.
Doesn't count. Of course it counts.
She shook her head.
She's blonde. That doesn't say much. Eep. Shut up, Rose. You're colorblind. All you see is purple. Eep. Yeah, well, if you want to agree with everything she says,
he pointed at Rain,
then maybe you can go be her minion. Good luck having a conversation with her, though. I don't think she speaks Eep.
Rose flipped him off.
Right back at you, you little bitch.
I can play cards with her and make fun of you. Rain slid off the bed to get changed.
You can't even understand her. How are you going to make fun of me? Eep. Shut up, Rose. I'll deport you.
You seem to understand what she says. That's all I need. Rose gave him a smug look, and the next thing she knew, she was kick-vaulted across the room into a portal, and Vance crossed his arms with a pout.